Spirituality means bound with that presence that's traditionally been called God. For there is a God, but it's a God of humility and kindness and truth and wisdom. And it is transcendent of every physical thought or feeling or birth or death. There is no such thing. It's always been called the illusion in traditional Eastern philosophy or metaphysics. It means that you look through it, it's not really there. You don't have to take it seriously. And you can't think about it with what's called your mortal mind. You have to shut that down. And there are many traditions to do that. Zen Buddhism, you exteriorize your thinking, put it on the place 18 inches in front of you. You watch your breathing, you feel your abdomen expanding and releasing, and with every inhalation and exhalation. And your mind will simply fall down to that place. You'll be very balanced. When you're in love, you're that way. You're safe. You don't have to hide anything. So your mind and body and soul are as one presence. Being in love with all the decent people in the world is called mysticism. But it's transcendent of the word love. There's no passion. It's, When I say that, it's endlessly simple and kind. Endlessly meaning infinite. I'm sorry for that word. It's great artists have it, or great poets, Gibran's poetry. You'll sense that throughout the writing. And I read a book of his letters recently, and it's the love he had for a friend Mary. So it's so transcendent of the world. No need to be there or not be there. It's just breathtaking, the beauty of language that covers what I'm trying to say as one human being to other human beings. That there is this presence we call God. But it's a mystical God, meaning it's so wondrously quiet and calming. And in that there's an infinity of structureless structure, placeless places that just exist in your awareness. And the tragedy of our life is that we're very humble and kind, and all we want to do is bring this experience to our friends and loved ones, our neighbors, because that's all we know. As spiritual beings with the tenderest souls in the world, and yet our duty is to figure a way to use whatever God-given abilities we have within us to lift the vibration, the sense of life to all those we find worthy. And you'll understand that word. It's not this one or that one. It's just in the millisecond you'll see when and how to employ your skills to get across to another person that they need not be tempted by this world. I know when friends brought me to my friend Kim Black, his dad was saying, Hot Rod Lincoln, remember that? Back in '58, I guess. And this is a very handsome young man, a great, great, great artist. And he took me to a hospital, a friend dying of cancer, and then the friend died, and I was hiding from the doctors because I'm in a prayerful state, so I made like I'm just standing there. And this is everything you do spiritual is painfully humble and kind and true. She knew what was happening, and even Kim wasn't totally sure at the moment. Of course, he was protecting the space, and so the person wasn't healed of the cancer, but they were lifted. Do you understand? There is no death. Chief Seattle, remember him from I Will Fight No More Forever? He said that there is no death, only a change of worlds. So many people around the world understand this. I want you to understand that you were born at this particular time. If you are spiritual in this world at this time, your mission is to heal the worlds, all the worlds, and there are more than this earth. And you will do it this time around. There's no doubt. You are a great soul, a missionary from a far-off kingdom. You'll overcome the whole world in this light. It's simply the destiny of all spiritual people alive in this world today. And we're way out there, aren't we? We're kind of far out. Remember the hippies would say, it's far out. It's like, we really are, because it's endlessly pure. This sense of life we have, and dignity, and kindness. And we go through more misery than all the other people combined, don't we? Because our sensory equipment is so delicate. And this dark force that owns this world, called the devil, there is such a being. I don't want to give it anything, but it is the illusion. Is if you are tough, as my buddy that does the videos here, Greg, he's a 10th degree martial artist, and he's simply not afraid of anything. He just does the right thing all the time. He's a patron of a large family in there. So he's always in the pocket, you know what I mean? But we don't have to be that tough, or that clear, or that artistically inclined. We have to be aware that we're nothing, we're not really here. And then something will happen to you. It always happens. You'll become the presence of God. That's why I know that you'll overcome the whole world on behalf of your mom, dear friends and family, those you respect and care for. It's not being nice. That's a weakness. Kindness is, you're made of steel. Spiritual steel, emotional, psychological, because you're not reacting to anything. You look through the madness, don't you? And the dark side's on you all day, every day, isn't it? I'm not negating that. I'm saying, if you understand what's said, then that's like a neutron bomb, and the devil will flee every time. This horrible thing. It's, as a mystic all my life, I can say that nothing in the world, everything in the world is an illusion to me. Not that it's, I don't care, I care so painfully all the time. Literally. For every decent person in the world to find a way to lift themselves, or for you to lift them, which is your destiny. Find little ways and techniques to be there for people. Not evaluatively, in other words, not judging, just being there for them. And you'll find yourself to be the instrument of God that you were born to be in this world. So if it takes 2 months, it's generally 3 to 4 months, 2 months, when you first catch on to the idea, oh, this whole thing is projected, it's the devil, it's a dark force, whatever you want to call it. And you'll eventually look through it as I do, and you'll see this one ignoramus is just, but it's a trillion times more. It's moving, it's like, give it nothing, and on the way out the door, it'll still make you feel scared for a moment, like, you know, but that's all it is. And then you'll already be in this place of openness. Like my young friend Trevor here, is like when he sits in meditation, the sky disappears. And his lady friend Whitney, she simply is that person. So humble that you don't know it, and she doesn't know it. But the truly spiritually gifted don't see her. I don't see you. We've never been here. It's an infinitesimal moment in what's called time, and time doesn't exist. It's the projection of that one force out of an endless, infinite universe called God, and it's so wonderful. There are no words. It's Michelangelo and Gibran's teachings, and just, it's so delicate. It's a mom's love. You understand? Pray first for your mom that she's over the tragedy. Imagine my mom grew up during the Depression. My dad was a homicide detective. 6 kids in a very poor neighborhood in South Philly, but we were completely happy and didn't know anything other because my dad was strong, my mom was good. But if you look back at what the things they had to deal with every day. I came home from Marine Corps one night, 2 in the morning, early on, and how could she possibly know I was coming to the door at that moment, and then boom. But she would always know. Your mom always knows. Help her relieve herself, understand the tragedy she went through, because all she wants you to do is to succeed. It's the same for your dad. He just wants you to succeed, and if someone's true of heart and they want you to succeed, they will go through hell in this world. But if you understand what's behind the hell of this world and give it nothing. Like in the Orient, they would say, not this, not that in your meditation. In other words, you don't react to the subtlest thought or sense. And you can do this around crazy, crazy people. I do it all the time. I'm so tired of watching people walk down the streets. I'm in Redwood City here at a gym here where people are afraid of one another, and I say hello to everyone. Every now and then I know not to go there. But I don't, it's not fear, it's like, whoop. Crazy guys on the street, high on, whatever that shit's called. It's like, I get into their conversation, I go, no, they're yelling at me, and I agree with them, get in their head with them and walk by. I'm so tired of seeing any of you afraid for 1 second more. Don't be. Quiet yourself, understand it, acknowledge it in the most sensitive way. And it will be gone. And we can lift the veil and secure for our mom first and our friends and family, the decent people, our true loves. We care so much, don't we? But everything in the world makes you afraid of this condition, or going here, or going there. Last few years, I've had terrible things happening every morning in my life. I'm never going to repeat them to anyone. It's not any. So I couldn't go here or be there, that made me sit more powerfully in my quiet and overcome the devil for you. As you overcome the devil for me and my mom, I thank you. I mean this truly to all the spiritual people in the world. That's why we exist. That's why we will persist to the end of this. We'll overcome the whole world with a whisper of sanity. There's nothing wrong with you. There's everything right with you. You're not your body or your problems or the solution to your problems. You're made of light and air and kindness, aren't you? Again, kindness, not nice. It's a powerful condition where you know from within yourself you can lift anyone, lift the veil of temptation that covers the whole world and make you think you're this body. All the good things I've done in my life, I wasn't there. Consciously wasn't there. You're not here. Be more conscious of that. Be aware that you are true divinity. Can you imagine that? I know that of all the spiritual people I know, and I express that to them in whatever way works for that moment, or if I'm with them in my little temple, my living room, then the heavens open. That's why you're born, to open the heavens on behalf of all decent people. And this will be gone overnight. Sit quietly before God. You'll discover God sitting quietly before you. My friend from India, Christopher Hills, he used to talk about God meditating upon God. He introduced me to all the really remarkable gurus and so forth in India. And you're the greatest guru. You're born at this time. Christopher passed and he's with us. My friend Corinne Hodge is giving this class today. She was a great ballerina and died early, and she's just here. There's no man or women or this. It's so endlessly wonderful to be spiritual, to be you, to be a mystic. to understand God, to experience God, this purity. And the world will slam you 1,000 times worse than everyone else. And you're going to enjoy it early on because you'll get it, that it's behind all the madness is this same simple little creature, Satan or Mephistopheles. It doesn't matter. That's why people are so proud of they overcame this and that, to become a great artist in this or whatever in the world, or a practitioner or whatever. But behind it all is just finding true humility. And because you maintain that and contain that and understand that, so your only problem is humility. You'll step out from time to time. You will heal the nations. You're the greatest human being that ever walked, and yet you don't walk. You're always an inch above the ground, aren't you? You understand what's being said. So let's stop the madness. I don't want to see one more human being afraid of one more human being, because we are not a body. There are no tough guys, there are no beautiful girls, or whatever. It's all the same. Just it's a warmth and a closeness and an infinite loving kindness behind it all. The name of that loving kindness, Almighty Infinite God the Father and our friend. If you can contain this, you are God's presence in this world. This world is over. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you, Mr. Gold.